I have a series of projects that have the word Black that precedes the things. Black Archive, Black Madonna Press, Black Imaging, this kind of Black Vessel for a Saint, so and so. And that in those works, I was kind of playing with the word Black, both sides of it, really, but also trying to describe a kind of emotional condition more than I'm trying to describe like a racialized condition. Like Nina Simone has this song, "Black is the color of my true love's hair." And there's something about the way she sings it that is not, she's talking about love, but with such deep sadness in her voice. And it's a very, and it's, anyways, you know, it's Black as an emotional condition, right? But I also felt like the building itself was citing the silo, like kind of a basic granary, you know, like in the US we call it a silo, like storage, right? And that there's something about that, you have a grain elevator that takes things up and posits them, and so there's that hole again, you know, kind of working in this conveyor belt that moves materials. I like that. I like that Peter Zumthor's pavilion was Black. I like when I find old plywood, like old 1920s plywood, and the grain of the plywood is almost protruding out from the rest of the reinforced poly-ply laminate. You know, when that brown pops out, I feel like there's something in this stain that makes the grain pop, and that was enough of an aesthetic move that we didn't need then gypsum board, or that the building was saying enough with its most primary elements, and that any other skin would have cost more. But then it's like the building didn't need to be bombastic or painted pink, or there was nothing that I was trying to say in the color, except I want a building that disappears, you know, as it could get out of the way, right? And I thought one way of demonstrating my deep respect for architecture and art was by trying to make a pavilion that would move out of the way of people, and that it would just, in its bones, people could rest. Like in its bones, right? And these were also decisions that we were having to solve lots of problems at the same time. Where's the lighting gonna go? Where will people sit? Should we have chairs and stools? And it was like, man, all those things would interrupt the circle. And if all of a sudden, you know, it may end up getting filled with chairs and that, but when it's empty, it offers this other possibility of the sacred. So can we build seating into the bones so that at least people could be at the perimeter of the things? There was that. Then also, David has made Black buildings, right? So I knew there were moments where we would have a kind of shared intention. Black Vessel was also about the fact that at Gagosian, many of the vessels that I made were made from a manganese dioxide, which was both matte and sheen, so that these walls have shimmer like manganese dioxide. They have a matteness, but they're also super reflective. So there's, it's, you know, in a way, it's not that I'm without the capacity to talk about architecture. I deeply love the profession. What I found, though, was I could take advantage of my license to be an artist and kind of bring to the Pavilion Commission, which I called earlier, like it's its own act of faith that an institution would, you know, endorse a non-architect. Feels like a demonstration of Hans' belief in art, which feels religious to me. Hans's belief in art feels religious, you know, like it's in his bones. If you ever get to know this guy, so I think that in that sense, the building is trying to offer the truth that plywood and 2x4s and glue lambs and you know, reinforced posts that those truths in their minority status on the construction site, as the things that are always covered up or insulated, or that those minority materials also have beauty, that every material has the capacity for innate beauty if we labor with the material enough. And I think the building is trying to demonstrate that.